For the past couple of weeks, every Friday I've been releasing a tutorial for a free pattern. A couple people have asked me about scrap busting patterns as well. So while I'm not able to commit to doing a scrap busting pattern every week, I can commit to doing a few, which is what I'm going to do this coming week. I hope to film and release 3 videos for patterns that are perfect to use for scraps. So for today's pattern, I'm actually going to be showing up the Unagi. This is from Sincerely Gem Patterns. It comes in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. I'm going to show you the piece of fabric I started with. This is the size of the fabric that I started with. The Emporium is running a pre-order. It is Cottagecore Critters, and I asked for some sublimated print so I could sew a couple things up. So this is the size, and I have one other one. So with this print, the foxes, and the hedgehogs, I plan on releasing 3 scrap busting patterns. If you have a pattern that's great for smaller pieces of fabrics that you really like, please leave it in the comments below because I'm still trying to decide on what to sew up for the other 2. So let me know if you have any favorites that you like that maybe I could film a tutorial on. So let's go ahead and talk about the pieces for this one. This one is super quick and easy, and I'm so excited to sew it. So for the medium, that is going to be this size here. This is going to be the back piece. This is the largest piece you will need to cut out of your exterior. So you'll need to at least have a piece this size, or if you wanted to be even more scrap busting, you could cut strips and quilt together. So I have 1 exterior, 1 lining. This print is on pre-order right now from the Emporium. This is a retail print. It is available from the Marmino website. This will be the bottom for the front. This is the size medium, and if you can tell, I do have rivets on this. The pattern has the markings for the rivets. They're just a decorative touch. They're not for anything for stabilizing, so you can just put them on there to have the pattern just fancy it up a little bit, which I think is super cute. So this is going to be the front bottom. You'll need to cut a lining piece that will be mirrored. So for this one, you will place the pattern piece right sides down. You're going to have 2 top pieces, an exterior and a lining, and these will be mirrored also. That is all the pieces you need. You're going to use 1 piece of zipper tape, and I'm choosing to use a grommet so that I can add a wristlet strap, but you could easily just choose to use a zipper pull with a hole in it to attach the wristlet strap there. If you wanted to do a crossbody, you would put 2 grommets, one on each side. For the small, I'm going to cut out the same pieces. This is my back piece. There's the lining. I have a bottom, and you can see I have smaller rivets on this one. This is the bottom lining, the top exterior, and the top lining. I'm also going to have the same zipper tape, but on the small version, I'm not doing a wristlet strap. I'm just going to let it be a pouch. You could do a wristlet strap on there, but the designer does suggest doing a D-ring, or you could add something through the zipper pull if you have one with a hole in it. I'm also going to be adding some woven and cork tags just to have it a little bit cuter and fancier. So let's go ahead and start sewing this pattern. You're going to be amazed at how quick it comes together, how cute it is, and it does not take a lot of materials. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the top part of the bag. You can start with your exterior or the lining. Here's my medium pieces, here's my small pieces, here's my 2 pieces of zipper tape. I don't have the pull on yet, but you can if you want. Let's just work on the medium sides first. I will take my larger piece of zipper tape, place it right sides down, and then you could do a traditional zipper sandwich if you want by placing the exterior and the lining right sides together. I honestly don't like to do that. I'm not the best sewist, and I feel like too many things can slip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my lining, and I'm going to sew the zipper on first. I'm just going to do a basting stitch here and go all the way across. Here's how that zipper looks on the lining piece. I'm going to take my exterior now, and I'm just going to place it right sides together. I definitely want to make sure I match up my sides and the bottom, just because there's a couple curves here and it could easily get off and not look right. And so I'm going to match up here at the widest part first. And then I'm going to sew this time with the full seam allowance given in the pattern. You want to make for sure that everything is kept lined up. And if you wanted to use double-sided tape or clips or anything like that, you can. Make for sure that you stitch the same seam allowance all the way down, and so that it looks really nice when you turn these two pieces wrong sides together. I'm going to add some clips all along here because when I top stitch, I want to make for sure that everything stays looking nice and I get a really good top stitch. I have this clipped together. Now I'm going to take this over the machine and I'm going to top stitch. Those steps to attach the top to the zipper are the same regardless of which size you make. So I will do those same steps to make the small size off camera, but I'm going to go ahead and add the bottom to this piece now. So this is the way I want the bottom to look. Since I have the bottom oriented the way I want it to go, I'm going to go ahead and flip it up. It is really important that I make sure that I match everything up on the sides so that it looks really nice whenever I fold it down. This is just going to be a basting stitch, but feel free to do the lining and the exterior together if you want, or to use clips or double-sided tape. So here is how the exterior bottom piece looks from the wrong side. Let's flip it over and you can see it attaches nicely there. Now I need to add the lining piece. I'm going to go ahead and orientate it the way I want it to go and then flip it up. It should match up perfectly with your exterior piece. If it doesn't line up perfectly, definitely make for sure to check your placement before you sew it together. I'm just clipping the two pieces together. And just so I can show you, everything does match up nicely there. This time I'll sew across that same side with the full seam allowance. Now that I have those sewn together, I'm going to pull them apart so they are wrong sides together. Add the clips just like I did on the top so I can top stitch all along that folded edge we just sewed. This is how it looks now. I'm going to top stitch all along here. This is how my front looks. I'm going to go off camera and do those same steps for the small size. I'm also going to add a cork tag to the front and then my woven tag to the side. I went ahead and added the zipper pull onto the zipper and trimmed up the edges. I also basted around everything just to make it a little bit easier on the next step. So here is the front exterior. This is how that lining looks. I'm going to leave this front exterior right sides up. I'm going to take the back exterior piece and I'm going to place it right sides down. If there's any issues with this back piece being a little larger due to the size of your zipper or your seam allowance sewing it, it's okay, you can trim it off later. But what you want to do is match up all the sides, and then we are going to sew all the way around this. We're going to attach these two pieces. We're not leaving an opening, so everything will be sewn right sides together. Use the seam allowance given in the pattern for this step. So now I have that exterior back sewn all the way around to the exterior front. I can see the lining front on this side. Have your lining front right sides up. Take that lining back piece and lay it right sides down. And we're going to sew all the way across this too, but this time we're going to leave an opening here. Make sure it's a big enough opening that you can be able to birth the pouch through, but you would want to make for sure that you leave it only in the straight part. Make sure you back stitch here really nicely so that you can turn it without tearing your stitches. After we have that sewn all the way around, then I'm going to trim up the seam allowance. I'm not trimming up where the opening is, just around the parts where I stitched. Again, use the full seam allowance given in the pattern. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and reach in between these two pieces and turn this right sides out. You should be looking at your lining side. Now I need to close up this opening here in the bottom. It's easy to fold up this lining piece and have it just by itself. The designer tells us try to only sew the linings together and not the exteriors, but that's kind of tricky. So be careful on that, but try to only sew what you have to sew. You don't want to sew anymore because it will be seen from the outside if you sew too far on this. So I'm just folding it just a little bit in there. Now what I'm going to do is I want to sew this closed. I'm just going to do 1/8 of an inch, just barely get across there to connect those two pieces. Make sure you backstitch when you start and stop. We're going to now turn this right sides out. We'll definitely have to take some time to poke out all the corners. I always try to put my thumb in the corner first before I start turning it so I can use my thumb to kind of help poke it out too. I'm going to add some of my heavier duty clips here at this bottom seam to kind of help compress it and get it to lay the way I want it to lay. Here's how this pouch looks. It is adorable. I love it. I still need to make my wristlet strap and I need to add the grommet here at the top. So let's leave those clips on while I grab the wristlet strap and show you how I'm going to make it. My wristlet strap is going to have this piece of webbing and this piece of fabric. I had a very small amount that I was working with, so I didn't have enough fabric to have a 4-inch wide wristlet strap. I could have done a 1/2 inch strap, but I instead decided I would make a double strap. And so the way I did that is I have one piece of 1-inch webbing, and on the back of this wristlet strap, I drew a line down the middle. My wristlet strap is cut to the pattern measurements. So what I'll do now is I'll just fold these raw edges all the way down. I'm going to go off camera and actually use a glue stick and iron these pieces down so that way I can attach it to the webbing. But I'm going to show you what that'll look like before I go off camera and do it. Here's how my wristlet strap looks once I have those raw edges folded to the middle. After I iron that flat and use my glue stick to have a temporary hold on it, I'll be able to place these so that the seam here will be hidden and I'll be able to top stitch down both sides. I'm going to do those steps off camera and then we'll come back and add the swivel hook and I'll show you how the grommet looks after I've attached it. I have the medium and small finished, but I do need to finish the wristlet strap. So what I've done so far is I just put those two pieces together and top stitch down the long edges. Now what I'm going to do is slide on a wristlet hook and then place it right sides together. For me, I want the fabric showing on the outside. I'm just going to sew that top edge together. I'll do a couple stitches back and forth here. And then what I'll do is I'll flip this right sides out and I'm going to pull my swivel hook to where that seam is so I kind of hide it there. If you wanted, you could use a rivet here just like you did on this one, but I'm just going to sew across and that'll kind of tuck that raw edge in there. So now I can snap my wristlet into the grommet there at the top. So let's open this up. This is the medium size. There is a size larger than this. You can see it opens up really nice. You have the room at the top too. Your phone could easily fit in there. The small one, very teeny. This one's super cute and small. Definitely can fit chapstick, your driver's license, credit card, some cash, of course some candy, just things you want to kind of make sure you don't lose. Great for your earbuds. And so this does fit easily in here, which is what I will use this for, and I'll sell these as a set. Here is the front. There's the back. This is a great way to use scraps. Now, I did show you the piece that I had, the size of fabric that I used, and I made two. I had just a very small scrap of fabric left of this. So if you don't have as much as this fabric as I had, you could easily make only one of these with a smaller scrap of fabric. I think I know the pattern I'm using for this print, and then I haven't decided for sure on this print. I'm still trying to figure it out. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. But these prints are all available from the Emporium. They're on pre-order now. I will have that link in my description. This pattern is the Unagi. It is from Sincerely Gem Patterns. I will definitely have the link for it as well. Also, just as a side note, The Imperium's pre-order has a cotton woven, a waterproof cotton, a smooth vinyl, and cotton lycra. So you have 4 different bases to choose from. I know this print I'm definitely ordering in the cotton lycra and the cotton woven. This print I might just do the cotton woven. So I'm not for sure what ones I'm getting. The pre-order is really cute. There are several options, and this will probably be my biggest order I've made in a long time, especially since I took the month of January off. As soon as February hits, the pre-order from the Imperium will be the first purchase I'll make, and I probably will spend quite a bit since she has 4 different bases and a lot of really cute prints. Hopefully I'll have the other 2 videos up this coming week, so watch for those. I'll definitely have my Frugal Friday video posting on Friday, and other than that, thank you so much for watching another tutorial of mine, and I hope you have a great day sewing up some of your scraps.